Hi, it's Michael, clinical psychologist at Grove Psychology. Today, I want to talk a little bit about avoidance. And avoidance is probably one of the key things that I see in my clinical work. Many of my clients are avoiding difficult emotions, unpleasant thoughts, difficult situations. And they're doing that with the best of intent, because they don't like to feel anxious. They don't like to feel stressed. They don't want to have negative thoughts or thoughts that they're not good enough or not worthwhile, or that they're going to make some sort of mistake. So they spend a lot of time trying to get rid of those thoughts, rid of those feelings, or avoid situations that trigger that uncertainty or doubts or negative thoughts, which makes a lot of sense, right? I spend a lot of my time talking to my clients that what you're doing makes a lot of sense. It's just not helping you in the long run. And I was reflecting on a discussion I had with a client the other week who said rather honestly and openly, I've been coming to you for a while now thinking that if I just turn up to these sessions, things are going to get better, and I realised I've actually got to go away and do the work outside of this, which is an incredibly honest thing to say. And that is often the hard part, which is how in those moments, how do we deal with those uncomfortable feelings? We want a certain way of our life to look like and to be, but it's difficult, right? If I'm moving towards the life that I want to live, maybe that involves a lot of discomfort, a lot of uncomfortability, because I'm pushing myself to be better at my job or my relationships or whatever it might be. And it invokes a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of negative thoughts. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthwhile, people are going to laugh at me, people are going to judge me, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm asking is, can we make room for those thoughts and feelings without trying to push them away, without trying to control them, which often leads to more negative thoughts, more worries. But this is not simply feel the fear and do it anyway. This is not simply just get over it and you'll be okay, because I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is those thoughts are going to come up, because our brains are natural problem solvers. It wants to solve problems. It wants to help us realize that there are potential difficulties that are going to come ahead, and you should know about these things, which is great. And we can thank our brains for that, but it's kind of doing it in an unsophisticated way. So if we can make room for these uncomfortable feelings by, one, simply noticing them, naming them, normalizing. People often have these thoughts, often worry about things that are challenging. We can get a little bit of a distance from those thoughts and feelings, which then helps us to align with the values that are important to us and make a decision of, do I want to move towards the life that I want to live, or away? If I'm doing an away behavior, I'm trying to avoid the anxiety or pain or discomfort. If I'm moving towards, I've got to try and make some room for this anxiety or discomfort, but I'm moving towards the life that I want to live. And there are other techniques that you can employ. If you've seen some of my other videos, we talked about some of the things that you can do. But it's not simply, I'm just going to do it. It's, I'm making room for it by grounding myself, by noticing what's going on for me, being kind to myself, self-compassion. So there's a bunch of different techniques that we can try to do to try and manage the uncomfortable feelings, to try and make room for them, allow them to be there, even though they're unwanted, even though we don't like them, we wish they were gone. We can try and do these things, which helps us. There's a lot of difficult decision making that goes through this process. Is this activity important to me? Is this part of the life that I want to be living my life by? Is this value important to me? And by value, I mean the way that I want to act as a human being, live my life as a human being. Is that important to me? And if I said those things were important to me, can I do the steps then to take me towards that, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it makes me feel difficult, and then use these other techniques, strategies to try and manage those feelings, because ultimately these are the things that are important, they're meaningful, and they help me in the long run. Avoidance helps me in the short run. I avoid having a difficult conversation. I avoid the anxiety that goes with that difficult conversation. However, if I said that being authentic and truthful and honest were important values to me, well, then I'm probably going to embrace the uncomfortable feeling, make room for that uncomfortable feeling to have that difficult conversation. So, in a nutshell, we're talking about avoidance, how that works in the short term, but prolongs the problem in the long term. And although it's not comfortable, if we can make steps towards the life that we're going to live, however big or however small they might be, we do then have a more enjoyable, more meaningful, rich life.